Top 10 Most Powerful Navy Forces in the World, 2026. If you want to understand what naval power really means in 2026, don't picture only a single aircraft carrier cutting through the ocean like a movie scene. Picture an entire system that must be ready every day: ships, submarines, aircraft support at sea, supply chains, trained crews, maintenance cycles, shipyards, and the ability to move from peacetime presence to real combat operations without collapsing under distance, fatigue, or losses. And that is why a modern ranking based on overall fighting strength and mix of assets can look different from a simple "who has the most ships" list. In this script, we follow the 2026 style idea of power as a balance of quantity and quality: how many hulls exist, what kinds they are, how modern they are, and whether the force is structured to attack, defend, sustain, and survive. And as we count down, you'll notice a pattern. Some navies are huge but uneven, some are smaller but sharply specialized, and the very top are those that can do almost everything, almost anywhere. For a long time, starting at number 10, Türkiye, a navy that sits at a crossroads of seas and straits and has built a fleet with a notable undersea emphasis. Its active fleet inventory is listed at 90 units, and what stands out is that it combines a single aviation-capable platform, a helicopter carrier, with a surprisingly large submarine arm, 13 submarines, plus 71 core fleet ships and 5 amphibious assault vessels, meaning Türkiye can deter in its surrounding waters with submarines, escort and defend with frigates and corvettes, and still retain a limited capacity to put forces ashore. Its submarine force includes multiple classes spanning decades, older units alongside newer additions, while its surface force includes frigates, including modernized ships and new-build frigate entries, corvettes, mine warfare vessels, and a large set of offshore patrol vessels that are crucial for day-to-day maritime security, which matters because power isn't only wartime, it is also constant patrol, control, and readiness. And stepping up to number 9, the British Royal Navy, historically famous but now operating with a comparatively compact active inventory of 50 fleet units. The strength here is not massive numbers but high-end capability concentrated into a few key categories: 2 aircraft carriers, the Queen Elizabeth class, that enable fixed-wing air operations from the sea, 9 submarines split between the Vanguard class, strategic deterrent, and Astute class, attack submarines, 6 modern destroyers, Daring class, 8 frigates, Duke class, a mine warfare component, and a relatively large offshore patrol vessel force for presence and security. The British model is about deploying small numbers of very capable ships integrated with allies, and those 2 carriers change the shape of the fleet because they create a moving airfield that can influence events far from home. But compact fleets also feel maintenance cycles more sharply. Every ship matters, every delay shows, and every modernization decision is painful. Then at number 8, France, with 70 active fleet units, a navy built around a single aircraft carrier, submarines, and a broad spread of surface combatants. France's carrier, Charles de Gaulle, provides a centerpiece for carrier air operations, while its submarine force includes modern nuclear attack submarines, Suffren class, alongside ballistic missile submarines, Triumphant class, and an older Rubis class entry. Its surface combatant picture includes destroyer, frigate-type groups such as the Horizon class and Aquitaine class, with additional Lafayette class and Floreal class hulls listed in the mix, and a particularly notable mine warfare inventory for a navy that takes coastal access seriously. Add offshore patrol vessels for persistent presence and 3 amphibious assault ships, Mistral class, for crisis response, and power projection, and you get a force that may not be the biggest, but is balanced across missions: deterrence, escort, strike, amphibious response, and long-range deployment. Now number 7, India, listed at 100 active fleet units, and the first thing to understand is geography. India's navy must think in terms of vast sea lines, choke points, and the ability to respond across the Indian Ocean region. Its fleet includes 2 aircraft carriers, Vikrant, commissioned 2022, and Vikramaditya, commissioned 2013, which signal a clear intent to maintain sea-based air power. Its submarine arm is listed at 19 units and includes Arihant-class nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, as well as conventional submarines such as Cavalry-class, Sindhugash-class, and Shishumar-class, while its major surface combatants include destroyer classes like Visakhapatnam and Kolkata, alongside older Delhi and Rajput entries. The frigate layer includes a mix ranging from a new Nilgiri-class entry to Shivalik, Talwar, and Brahmaputra classes, and India also fields a sizable corvette grouping and offshore patrol vessels that keep daily maritime security from exhausting the high-end warships. Amphibious capability is present too, giving India tools not just for combat but for evacuation, humanitarian operations, and regional response. Then number 6, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, listed at 102 active fleet units, a fleet whose identity is shaped by the demands of protecting sea lanes and deterring threats near home while remaining technologically advanced. Japan's inventory breakdown highlights 4 helicopter carriers, 22 submarines, 42 destroyers, 3 frigates, 22 mine warfare ships, 6 offshore patrol vessels, and 3 amphibious assault ships, and the message is clear. Japan emphasizes anti-submarine warfare, high-quality escorts, and a serious mine warfare capability because mines can shut down ports and sea routes quickly. The destroyer count is especially important because in Japan's fleet logic, destroyers and destroyer-like escorts are the backbone that protect everything else: carriers, logistics, and sea lanes. While the submarine force gives silent deterrence and the ability to complicate any adversary's planning, and at number 5, the Republic of Korea Navy, listed at 147 active fleet units built for deterrence and defense with a structure that heavily features offshore patrol vessels. South Korea's breakdown includes 21 submarines, 13 destroyers, 17 frigates, 3 corvettes, 14 mine warfare vessels, 69 offshore patrol vessels, and 10 amphibious assault vessels, with 0 fixed-wing aircraft carriers listed. This is a navy designed to be extremely active close to home, watching, patrolling, intercepting, and constantly training, while still possessing high-end punch in destroyers and submarines. Notable submarine classes include the Da, Changho class, newer, Son Wonyil, and Jang Bogo, while the destroyer force includes Sejong the Great class alongside other destroyer classes that support air defense and multi-mission roles. Amphibious ships matter here not just for invasion scenarios but for moving forces, conducting relief operations, and ensuring flexibility along complex coastlines. And now number 4, Indonesia, listed at 245 active fleet units, which at first looks enormous, but its power profile is different from the high-end fleets above it because the archipelagic geography drives a need for sheer presence, many hulls to patrol many waters. Indonesia's inventory includes 4 submarines and a fleet core of 209 units, with 32 amphibious assault vessels, and the detailed breakdown shows a huge concentration of offshore patrol vessels across many classes. This fleet is fundamentally about control of maritime spaces, constant patrol, and the ability to respond across thousands of islands, and while it includes frigates, corvettes, mine warfare vessels, and amphibious ships, the sheer number of patrol vessels tells you what Indonesia must do daily: show the flag, enforce sovereignty, and keep routes secure, which is a form of power that looks different from carrier strike groups but is still strategically decisive for an island nation. Then number 3, Russia, listed at 283 active fleet units, a navy with a strong emphasis on submarines, coastal defense, and a heavy legacy inventory alongside modernization. Its force concentration includes 1 aircraft carrier, Kuznetsov, 58 submarines, a fleet core of 207 units, and 17 amphibious assault vessels. The submarine list is extensive, spanning strategic and attack submarines, including Bori class, Yasin class, Akula class, Kilo class, and Kilo 2 class, along with older entries. On the surface side, Russia fields cruiser-type hulls, including Kirov class and Slava class entries, destroyers such as Udaloy class and Sovremeny class. It frigate classes including Gorshkov class, among others, and a large corvette inventory that forms a major portion of its surface combatant strength. It also has a very large mine warfare component, and that matters because mine warfare can deny areas and protect approaches in ways that are cheaper than building new capital ships. And moving to number 2, China's People's Liberation Army Navy, listed at 405 active fleet units, a fleet that combines rapid expansion with modernization and a growing capacity for blue water operations. Its force concentration includes 3 aircraft carriers, 73 submarines, a fleet core of 316 units, and 13 amphibious assault vessels, and the breakdown demonstrates breadth. Carriers listed as Type 001, Type 02, and Type 03. Submarines across multiple classes including Jin class, Shang class, Yuan class, Song class, Kilo class, and more. A powerful destroyer inventory including Renhai class and multiple Luoyang class entries, frigates including Zhangkai-class variants, corvettes such as the Jiandao class, and a very large offshore patrol component with fast attack and patrol craft types like Hubei class, among others. What makes China's profile feel different is the scale of its fleet corps combined with relatively modern ages for many principal combatants, plus an amphibious force that is modernizing in ways that matter for regional contingencies, and finally, number one, the United States Navy, listed at 232 active fleet units, but with the highest overall rating in this framework because its power is not just counted in ships, it is counted in the ability to project, sustain, and integrate across categories. Its force concentration includes 11 aircraft carriers, 68 submarines, a fleet corps of 119 units, and 34 amphibious assault vessels, and the category breakdown is a portrait of global reach. Carriers including the Nimitz class and Ford class, submarines including Virginia class, Los Angeles class, Ohio class, and Seawolf class, cruisers listed as Ticonderoga class, destroyers dominated by the Arleigh Burke class with Zumwalt class also present, Corvette-type forces represented in the littoral combat ship categories, Freedom class and Independence class, mine warfare vessels, and a very large amphibious force including America class, Wasp class, San Antonio class, Whidbey Island class, Harper's Ferry class, and Blue Ridge class entries. This is what Most Powerful looks like in the logic of balanced naval systems: air power at sea, undersea dominance, escort fleets, amphibious lift, and the industrial and logistical ecosystem that keeps it all moving. But it's also important to stay honest. If you switch the lens from overall capability and balance to total hull count, you can get a different top five. And if you switch again to total displacement tonnage, you get another view. Because a fleet of many small craft does not equal a fleet built around large, heavily armed capital ships. That's why the most responsible way to talk about naval power in 2026 is to say, power depends on the measurement: ship count, tonnage, modernization, mission balance, and experience. And the reality is that each of these top 10 navies is powerful in its own strategic environment, from Türkiye and the UK leaning on high-value assets and undersea strength, to France and India balancing presence with power projection, to Japan and South Korea optimizing for high readiness and regional deterrence, to Indonesia scaling presence across an archipelago, to Russia emphasizing submarines and layered coastal combat power, and to China and the United States operating at the frontier of fleet scale and modernization. So when you watch the ocean on a map and you see a carrier icon or a submarine symbol, remember it's never just one ship. It's the doctrine, the training, the maintenance, the ports, the shipyards, the escorting destroyers, the replenishment that keeps them alive at sea, and the national choices that built them. And that is what this 2026 picture of Most Powerful is really trying to capture.